here we go. Another episode of the One Barn I'm Out of Here podcast. I'm Dan Carroll. Let's get this going. What was yesterday? Sunday?
That was Sunday. Father's Day. Sunday, Father's Day.
I don't think I had one beer yesterday.
Not even on Father's Day?
No, I was.
I did not either because I was at work.
I was not 100% yesterday. Hanging.
Fair enough.
We had our big men's night at the swim club, and a very lively card game was had. Although no fights this year. A couple of the key players. I think. Well, I'm thinking of three people in my head that like to pound the table. They like to get a little over-exercised. They like to get up and pump their chest out and start shit. Those individuals were not present, and it was a fun night.
That's weird. It's weird how that happens, isn't it?
I think one got deported. The other one has been reassigned, and then the other one just doesn't hang around anymore. So
one got deported back to his home country.
Yeah,
the other one got reassigned to China.
Was he illegal?
I was
some
actually
discussion
just jumping
of that.
on the joke. I have no idea.
No, there was literally some discussion of that.
I have no idea what you're talking
about our buddy. I'm not going to say his name.
It wasn't at my table though.
But there was, well, it wasn't. This was like, with all the participants.
Oh,
there was some discussion of that, that he was possibly in the country illegally.
Ooh.
So maybe he got caught up in.
Holy shit! Maybe he had a really shitty Father's Day.
Well, that's all right. But no, Father's Day was fun. I got to play golf, got to watch golf on TV.
You got to beat the shit out of your son in golf.
My Hassler said, let's play some golf. So I said, we'll play. I took mercy on him. I said, we'll have a little match play. That way you have a blow up hole, because he initially was talking about stroke play. And so you have a hole.
You're like, bro, you don't want to do.
You have a hole where you take a 10 or a 15. I mean, that's you're pretty much shot for the whole match.
Yeah, you don't want to do.
So
that.
It was match play, and I won.
Good for you for doing that.
I was 4 up with 3 to play, so
you won.
Then we made a separate wager on 18, and I won that one as well. So that was good.
Well, guess what? He is a producing member of society.
Yep,
and
he's going to have to dig into his wallet a little bit.
Pay your debts, bitch.
He's going to have to dig into his wallet.
Hassler, we love you, but pay your debts. Pay your debts, my man. And you shouldn't make bets that you know that you're going to lose.
So I got to apologize for my appearance today. I came straight from working on a little rehab job I was doing. It was hot outside.
Not like drug or alcohol rehab.
No.
Let's get that.
No.
Let's clear that up.
A friend of mine.
Because we have audio listeners as well.
A friend of mine has a house that has cedar shingles on it. Or not shingles, but siding. Cedar siding. And
shingles hurt, I hear.
And so there's some rotting issues going on, and that's probably me. I probably
you're not bad. You're not bad actually.
But so I was doing that and didn't have. I'm dressed like I was going to a bingo game or something like that's what I look like right now. And in fact, you may notice that Pappas is not here.
Actually, Falk just said, "Where the fuck is Pappas?"
Pappas is not here. Pappas was hanging out with one of his girlfriends. They were playing some bingo this weekend. And, the kind of guy he is, he was kind enough to send us a little video of his girlfriend playing bingo. And in this particular game, she was only, a few numbers away from winning. So let's see how this worked out.
I mean, she almost killed it. Literally.
Yeah. I mean, she's doing the dap after she gets a number, does a little dap. There you go. And then something's going on with, I'm not sure exactly what this means for your bingo card.
B13. B12, B10,
there you go.
66.
And the thing is, look how steady the shot is. Pappas is shooting this, and he doesn't even flinch
B9,
when his gal, starts slamming that titty on the table right there.
254.
They were having a good time. So congratulate, the older crowd. They like to go to the bingo and play a little bit. Even though she doesn't look all that old, but she knows how to have a good time.
So yeah, she acted. So Falk said, and Falk, hey, we're gonna throw some shout outs to you here in a little while, once we get there. But Falk around to find out she said that's Officer Daniels' ex. I follow Officer Daniels, and if you don't, you should, because it's absolutely fucking hysterical.
Oh my God.
Those two just gallivanting around. But yeah, I saw that, and I saw it before you sent it to me on TikTok, and then when you said it, I was like, "Oh, that's fucking perfect."
Can I say something?
Absolutely perfect.
There was a time when I actually worked in a bingo hall. I was in the Air Force, and I was honorably discharged from the Air Force, and I lived out in Adelanto, California. And there was
where is that close to you, Falk? Is it close? Is it not? Shoot us in.
Adelanto's up in the high desert, not too far from Victorville.
That means absolutely jack.
Well, Victorville's kind of a big town right now out there in, I believe it's San Bernardino County, but San Bernardine's not too far away from where we were either.
Mean shit.
But in any case, there was a bingo hall there, and I knew the guy that ran it, and so I was working there, and that's sort of where my broadcast career began, because I was calling out, B5. Then you put the number in the thing, and then you come up,
and then it's
G49, G49.
But then it's B4, and then you get everybody going B4 what? That's stupid bullshit.
So I spent a lot of time in a bingo hall is what I'm saying, but I never saw that particular move.
I've never seen that move ever.
Yes.
I actually used to go play bingo with my mother before she passed. And that was, her greatest day, fucking going out and that bitch would win all the time.
Your mom?
She would win.
She had the luck, huh?
She would win all the time, and I wouldn't win jack and shit. And I'm like, all right, cool. All right, are we going to get something to eat? She's like, no, we're going home. I'm like, you just won all kinds of money, and I drove you here. Like, how about
a little Burger King,
Yeah.
Come on.
How about Mickey D's? I don't give a shit.
Frosty, something like that.
She's like, no, I'm tired. Take me home.
She was holding on tight to the $125, man.
But then she'd call me. She'd call me a couple weeks later. Like, hey, can you float me like $150? I'm like, what the hell? But yeah, she was that bingo player that had like all the little gnomes, all the daubers, all the things.
Oh yeah. People got the good luck things all set up.
Oh, you can't. Can't make that.
Oh yeah,
you can't make that shit.
Different colored daubers for different things and all.
R.I.P. Nance, I love you, but holy shit, yeah, she was. That was something. And bingo halls, our Sons of the American Legion post, our American Legion post, their bingos are
still do bingo, don't you?
Yeah. And it is
what is it, like every Wednesday or Saturday?
Every Sunday. It is intense, and I try to stay as far away.
You don't work the bingo?
Nope.
Why not?
Sure don't.
That's a good time, man.
I get yelled at enough being a fireman paramedic by old people.
Yeah. If you screw up the bingo game, they're gonna let you know about it.
I don't need to do it on my days off.
You don't do it right, man. They're gonna let you know.
You are screwed.
I got to know some of the players who were regulars there, and a group of them convinced me to go with them one time to a bingo hall that was on an Indian reservation. And you walked in, and I'm not okay. And they're like, you got to see this to believe it. So again, this is back in the mid 80s. And so we go out to this Indian reservation. I couldn't tell you where it was. And we get on there, and a giant bingo sign. And I mean, the parking lot was bigger than the building was probably, think of your average Home Depot. The building was about probably twice as big as that.
Holy shit.
The parking lot was 2 or 3. You know how big the parking lot is at the Crossroads Church? I mean, it was like that. I mean, big, giant parking lot. You walk in, and you can't even tell how many players are, because, I mean, there's players spread out as far as the eye can see, all one level. Right? And you got these giant monitors all over the place, and it's showing the ball and showing the number and everything else. And there's literally, 1,500 people in there, 2,000 people, and they're all playing bingo.
Wow.
And I mean, it is one hell of an operation. And these Indian tribe bingo halls were just raking.
Oh, I'm
just
sure.
raking.
I am absolutely. Oh, I have no doubt that
you walk up, and it's like being in a casino. You walk up to the cashier's cage, and you hand over your money, and they give you a sealed packet. It's had the red plastic stripe, and it's to show that it hadn't been fiddled with. Yeah, you open it up. I mean, it was serious business, man.
Wow.
And here's the thing. the way they did it at the Indian and I know people probably don't care about this, but this is a part of my life that was very interesting. I thought the way they did it at this bingo hall was there's a camera that shows the ball, so the ball comes up and they put the ball in front of the camera, but they don't call it yet. So let's say you're waiting for G67 or G64, whatever the number is. Or 065, because I think there's 75 numbers. 065 comes up. That's the number you need for bingo. If you shout out bingo before they call that number, your bingo's no good. Even though it's displayed on the camera, you have to wait until they announce it.
Oh shit!
Before you shout it out.
Oh, they threw little.
So
little,
if you shout out
rules.
bingo, and then what happens is that people are checking because people are playing, 7, 8, 10 cards. Boom, 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 boom. They're playing all these cards.
17 or 20 cards.
People will go back and realize they hit a bingo on the previous number, and then they'll shout out bingo, and their bingo will be good, and the one you fucked up. So you do that, man. I mean, people, they get hot and hot. You talk about hot as you got to get out of there.
Oh,
You do not hang around. It is like there's the door. The security will come up and
you are not invited.
Security
back.
will come up and say it's probably the best. You leave now.
And we're going to escort you. Actually, we feel like it's best if we escort you out.
We'll give you a refund of $20 or $30, whatever it is that you paid for your packet. Paper games.
So I made the statement our last podcast of just the way the news cycle is running.
It's been unbelievable.
And holy shit. So, we podcasted Friday, pool Saturday, men's night. I didn't really pay attention to too much that was going on.
I'll be honest with you. I pretty much checked out from the news this weekend because we had a pretty full day on Saturday. Yeah. Father's Day was so yesterday was get up, and I actually slept in till almost 7 o'clock on Sunday.
God, you slept
which is late for me.
I slept in like a champ,
and
that's only because I was paying somebody to hold over.
Our tea time was like 9:18, so we had to get up, get going. Hassel had to go get his truck, so we did all that, got the truck, played golf, got home, and the U.S. Open was on, and I wanted to watch the U.S. Open.
The perfect Father's Day.
So that's pretty much what I did all day yesterday.
That's perfect.
Put some steaks on the grill. It was good.
I had somebody hang over for me at work. I went in at noon. But, once I got to the firehouse, you start fucking around on your phone. You start looking and you start seeing what's happening.
Mm-hmm.
And, obviously we've been following the murders in Minnesota. And as I'm watching, I had Fox News on, and then I had CNN on another TV. And I just wanted to watch. And see, like, how they were covered, like how different the coverage was.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So all day yesterday,
the dude's name is Vance. Do you know anybody named Vance? I don't think I know anyone named Vance.
I know.
I know some Vince.
The last name Vance.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah, well, yeah. Last name Vance, but my first name Vance.
The next president of the United
I was
States,
thinking about
it, but calling it right now. Calling it June 16th, 2025. But anyway, so you're following all this where they're tracking this guy, and they have all this information, but then they have zero information. You're trying to figure it out because I mean, it's again the news cycle. So you're watching all this stuff on TV just evolve as it's going. And late last night, then they end up finding him. So I'm actually very impressed. And I wanted to get your take on it. I don't know. I mean, you haven't been in the news a bunch, obviously, as you just said, but the amount of assets that they had out looking for this guy, knowing who he was, and one of the videos that I saw, and I don't have it dialed up, but was apparently like had a wife and kids, but lived in another house to be closer to work or whatever. And I watched this video of one of his quote unquote roommates. who's reading it, in front of the news, reading a text message. And he was saying, hey, I'm going to be gone for a while and I might be dead early. I might be dead soon. And this guy just starts fucking breaking down. So going through and trying to figure out who this guy is. And obviously, the news has been hitting hard. But the fact that last night, late is when they find him in a field. They find him in a field, make him crawl to him. But they found him. And a day and a half, almost 2. They're calling it a 2-day manhunt, but I mean it's a day and 3/4, whatever. If you want to be precise.
Was this a rural area where they found him in Minnesota?
So that's what I'm trying to figure out, because I didn't have a chance to actually grab a screenshot of the map, but apparently somebody saw him out in the field, and that's when they called. But this guy, I don't know what you know about him. And that's what I want to ask you.
Well, I was just thinking about that because I'm looking at an article from NPR right now, and the headline of the article.
You have something up different than I do, so that's perfect. I love
the
it.
The headline of the article is this: hold on, let me get. I gotta get another mouse. Somehow I lost my mouse. The suspect in the shooting of 2 Minnesota lawmakers had a hit list of 45.
So it went from 70 down to
45. Minnesota shooting updates, live update, what we know about the Minnesota shooter. And the first thing that I'm struck by is there's an assload of information out about this dude, about his writings, his history, how many weapons he had on him, the list, all that shit, 45 different people he wanted to kill. You think about the amount of information we have about this guy already. He's only been in the news for 2.5 days?
Yeah.
3 days at this point. The amount of information is a stack that goes up past the ceiling.
Yeah.
Compare that to the amount of information we have about the shooters that went after Trump.
Thank you.
So you've got this compared
that
to,
was not even
to
planned.
This.
People, I promise you, that was not even planned, but I am so glad you fucking went there.
So that's why, we look askance at it's a lot of the information that comes out about the shooters who went after Trump. And this was the president of the United States. Now, look, these shootings, they called it the largest manhunt in the history of Minnesota. Are you familiar with the show called Fargo?
Yes.
Have you watched the series?
I haven't watched the series. I've
seen the series, the movie Fargo, and then there's a series.
I have not
Fargo.
I have not watched the series.
Really, really well done. I mean, Billy Bob Thornton was in one of them. So it's their series. They have 10 or 12 episodes, and the beginning of the show always starts with, the following took place in Minnesota. The names of the, out of respect for the dead, the names have been changed out of respect for the, how do they say it? Anyway, but they say the rest is told exactly as it happened. And I mean, these are some heinous crimes that take place during the course of the show. So I'm thinking about, man, there's a lot of crazy fucking killing that goes on in Minnesota. I mean, people up there are crazy. I mean, they do some serious gangster like shit. And these are just, average, ordinary, everyday thugs. I mean, there's some that's a little bit more organized than others. But for them to call this the largest manhunt in the history of Minnesota is pretty stout. I mean, that's a pretty big deal. So they put, obviously a ton of resources into catching this dude, which they should have, because you can't go around killing people like that. And the dude was dressed up as a cop. And this guy, I mean, he was seriously trying to kill people. The one couple that survived is another, couple that's in politics. And the guy said, yeah, I got shot 9 times. My husband got shot 8 times, but we both survived.
Those are fucking ballers.
Think about that.
They're both ballers.
That is unbelievable. I mean, that's, God. How many people do you see get shot 8 or 9 times that live through that?
I don't know how. I just don't understand how you can shoot 17 shots into 2 different people and not kill either one of them.
I don't know.
That's where my mind goes. Just because I like to go to the range. And
they say he was using a 9mm.
I like to think that I'm somewhat proficient I'm not the greatest shot.
Carried a 9mm handgun, wore a black tactical vest disguised with a they call it a realistic silicone mask.
Which it's a TikTok buy. I've seen it. Same thing
Yeah.
with the flashlight that he had. That's a TikTok buy.
Is that where he got his fake police uniform too? Or
Yeah,
was,
probably.
Yeah.
Most
And his
likely.
fake police car. Yeah, but this guy is just he's just a piece of crap. And look, I am not ready to get into the discussion of whether or not the guy's a conservative, whether or not he's a leftist or a liberal.
There's so much going back and forth of how he registered and then he voted this way. And yeah, I agree with you. I don't want to touch any.
One of the first things that came out was this guy was appointed.
He's a fucking murderer.
He was appointed to some board by Tim Walz, the
well,
governor.
He was actually supposedly appointed by the governor before Tim, and then Tim just kept him on.
Oh, okay, all right.
And we see those all the time, but again, until we know more, I agree with you. I don't want to hit any of that because I had a really long text message from one of our buddies that is always in the chats.
Well, all I know is that the initial information that came out was that this gal was either the current speaker or the former speaker.
She was
of the House there, and her vote, she voted on a bill in Minnesota that was going to prevent illegal aliens from getting, I guess, free health care services from the state of Minnesota.
Yeah, the low income health care.
Yeah. So her vote apparently was not only her vote actually broke the tie, was that her vote was the tie-breaking vote. And a lot of people were speculating that's why she was targeted. Then you come to find out this guy had a list of 45 people that he was going to go after, and all this stuff in his car with the No Kings protest flyers and all the rest of that. So there's a lot to unpack and sort out there. And
the fact that he was, and why we're bringing it up is the fact that he was apprehended, though. I mean, this has been in the news, and if it's in the news, big story, we got to cover it. But the fact that he was apprehended, I love it.
But the dude's a dirtbag, and if it turns out he's a Trump loyalist, then I'll say he's a dirtbag. And if it turns out he's a Hillary Clinton loyalist, or an Obama loyalist, Michelle Obama, Barack Obama, if he's one of those, I'll say he's a dirtbag too.
Yeah. And our buddies in the chats. But yeah, I had a very long text message. But
maybe worse than what's worse than a dirtbag?
I just said I love you, buddy. And there were things that were wrong in his chats or in his text with me, but we hashed it out.
Do we have a photo of Pappas with a girlfriend at a No Kings rally? We'll try and dig one of those up for the next show, especially if he doesn't show up.
Guess what? Fucking AI is fucking an amazing thing that I'm learning how to fucking use. So yes. Pappas likes to make his own picture, so I'll make one for him. How about that? I will say I'm not gonna put it out there, but Cincy 513 saying the other guy that got shot voted the exact opposite way, so that theory is BS. I don't know what,
and maybe it is. Maybe he's right about that. It's not my theory. All I'm saying is this is what was being talked about right after this thing initially happened.
Yeah, we're not throwing any theory out. You're going off the text message that you had already sent to me in your rant number 1, and then not rant number 2, but rant number 1.
Trust me, I love to draw conclusions as much as anybody else, but I also like to have some information before I do that.
I think you actually tuned in like just after we said, or just prior to when we said, we're not drawing any conclusions on this. The guy's a shitbag. He murdered 2 fucking people. He's a murderer. Doesn't matter what side he is.
And he tried to murder 4 people.
And he tried to murder 4 people, and he was just not good at it. I don't understand how you throw 17 rounds into 2 people and they don't die.
I don't know. Either you're not a good shot or you're using the wrong ammo or something. I don't know.
No,
I don't know enough about guns to be able to comment on that. Yeah, that's one thing I don't know a lot about is guns. I don't know. I'm not all that gun savvy.
No,
I know how to shoot.
There's
a
a
gun.
special place in hell for this guy. I don't care. I don't care what side he is. So, Cindy was trying to bait me in on a text.
I wonder if the person who dropped dime on him is going to get a reward, saying, "Hey, I saw that dude in the field out here."
Hope so.
Because they were offering what 10,000 or 50
grand.
Yeah. I'd be like, okay, you caught the guy. Where's my money?
They should get it.
Where's my money?
They absolutely should get it. What else we got? Dan, we got fucking I'm gonna say this, and you're not even gonna know what it means, but we got bombs over Baghdad, but it's actually not Baghdad.
It's Tehran.
You don't even know what that bombs over Baghdad means, do you?
I don't know what bombs over Baghdad means.
Yeah, I'm asking.
That's a saying.
No, it's a song. It's an Outcast song. It's old school.
I think I've heard of it before, though. I couldn't. Did you want to sing a little bit?
No, I can't. I can't. We'll get dinged.
Do you want to give me a little bit
We'll
of
get
that?
dinged. I'll show you after.
Even if you say the words yourself?
I'll show you after.
Don't you get to like 30 seconds or 15 seconds or something like that?
It changes.
Are you even allowed to say the name of the song?
It changes. It's called Bombs Over Baghdad.
Okay, but I'm saying, but you don't get dinged for that.
No.
So I could say, Frank Sinatra. I heard Frank Sinatra, "That's Life" on the radio the other day.
You can say that,
but I couldn't start.
You couldn't actually play it.
I've been.
You could sing it. You could sing it.
I can sing it
because
we get dinged for that.
You're not violating. Oh God damn! You're not violating any copyright. I promise.
That's Life. That's a good song.
But no, you got fucking Iran and Israel fucking just lobbing missiles like it is nobody's business.
Even though I was tuned out of the news, I did see some video of that, of the incoming missiles over Tel Aviv. I saw the Iron Dome doing its job. I saw
that's impressive.
A handful of those missiles did get through, and there were a number of civilian casualties. Here's the thing: when we talked about the strike on Iran by Netanyahu and the IDF, they were going after strictly military targets.
Correct.
They were going after the uranium enrichment facilities.
Yeah, their nuclear
sites. They were going after their command structure. If you're wearing the uniform, you're fair game.
Yeah.
And even though that's war, and that's what the Israelis have to do. So they did not lob missiles indiscriminately into civilian areas, but that's what Iran did in Israel, was send missiles into civilian areas and kill civilians indiscriminately.
I'm trying to look
big difference there.
Which article I pulled up, because I had two.
I was listening to a couple of discussions as I had to drive out to get some materials today, and I had the radio on. I was listening to a couple of different discussions, and I heard it said, I think 2 or 3 different times. And, this is the one thing I remember years ago. I heard Benjamin Netanyahu say this, and I'll never forget the way he said it. And it stuck with me. And it is still true today. It's a phrase that will always be true. And he said, if Israel was to lay down its arms and say, we don't want to fight anymore, then what would happen is there would be no more Israel. Israel would be wiped off the map. Everyone in that country would be annihilated. On the other hand, if the enemies of Israel were to lay down their arms, say, we don't want to fight anymore, you know what would happen then? Then there would be peace. And if you have any confusion at all about these conflicts and these exchange of weapons that Israel gets into with seemingly regularity these days, that's all you have to remember. And the idea that Iran gets its hands on nuclear weapons is one they cannot abide, because Iran will use that nuclear weapon and they will target Israel first and the United States second. or maybe the other way around. Who knows? We're the great Satan, they're the small Satan. And Israel, if they want to survive, they have to do these things. And that's the bottom line.
That's the bottom line. So I got this other article up. Sorry, I couldn't remember which one was which. So I apologize.
Don't apologize. This is the One More I'm Out of Here podcast.
So One More I'm Out of Here podcast. God damn it.
What do we apologize for?
But no, I saw this and a little bit of this play, and hopefully
Welcome to
plays
Washington
right.
for a special edition of Special Report. I'm Brett Baer. Coming up in a few minutes, my world-exclusive live interview with Israeli Prime Minister
So I'm going
Benjamin.
to scoot forward here a little
10,000
bit.
ballistic missiles, each one weighing a ton, coming in Mach 6, right into our cities, as you saw today. And then in 6 years, 20,000. That's no country can sustain that, and certainly not a country the size of Israel. So we had to act. It was the 12th hour. We did act to save ourselves, but also, I think, to not only protect ourselves, but protect the world from this incendiary regime. We can't have the world's most dangerous regime have the world's most dangerous weapons. We're protecting ourselves, but by doing so, we're protecting many others.
You know, I just want to press you on the intel on the nuclear part. Less than 2 months ago, the new director of national intelligence, Tulsi Gabbard, testified on Capitol Hill, saying that everything had been suspended since 2003 and had not restarted. That the nuclear program had not been restarted by the Iranians. So did something change from end of March until this week? Was the U.S. intel wrong?
The intel we got and we shared with the United States was absolutely clear. Was absolutely clear that they were working in a secret plan to weaponize the uranium. They were marching very quickly. They would achieve a test device and possibly an initial device within months, and certainly less than a year. That was the intel we shared with the United States. I think we have excellent intel in Iran. I think we've proven that.
Okay, so I mean that gives at least a little glimpse of where they were coming from, right, wrong, or indifferent, whether you agree with it or whether you don't. What I'm curious about, and I want to ask you, Dan, because you're way more into the political realm than I am, but where do you see the U.S. rolling into this, if at all?
I think there's no question that when it comes to support for Israel in terms of intelligence, in terms of weaponry, in terms of doing everything we can to help them defend themselves, I think that is all perfectly acceptable. I know there are those out there who are saying, no boots on the ground, no Americans in harm's way. Everything else is just fine, and I certainly hope that's the way it goes. I've heard a lot of analysis about Iran and their ability to, carry out anything that would be sustained. But if you look at what Israel was able to do in terms of, infiltrate, have drones that were pre-positioned. All the weaponry they had pre-positioned ahead of time in order to carry out this coordinated attack. It was absolutely brilliant, and that's got to give the leadership in Iran pause when they think about that, because we talked about it on our last podcast. That's some gangster shit when you get all the leadership of the Iranian Air Force to be in one place at one time, right, thinking they're having a meeting with the Ayatollah, and then the next thing you know, they're on their way to shake hands with Allah. So. I think Iran is not, even though Joe Biden opened up the door for them financially to be able to fund all the terrorists and engage in all the terrorist activities they're engaging in, to get their nuclear enrichment program back, because that's got to be expensive. I would imagine trying to enrich your uranium is a very expensive process.
That's not going down to the dollar store and just grabbing some chlorine and some bleach.
Not like you just pop it in the microwave and it'll be ready in about 15 minutes. So I think those days of Biden, turning a blind eye, and look, let's not forget Obama sent pallets of cash over there too. So
we got more to come.
yeah.
With,
So
with
those days are over. And that was the other thing. Was it that interview with Brett Baer where Netanyahu said the Iranians were working on a plan to assassinate Trump?
Yes, and I didn't grab.
Did he make the connection between the two dudes who shot at Trump? The guy in Florida didn't get a shot off, but
I didn't hear the whole thing. But yes,
I've only heard it talked about. I did not watch.
It was grabbed. I don't have the whole thing, but yeah, the fact that Trump is enemy number one on Iran's list, and they were working on, when they started lobbing missiles, they were like, they're going to kill your president. So we're going to go ahead and start because they're fucking with us. And we're going to help you because you guys help us. Because we send a shit ton of money to Israel every year. Yeah. So Netanyahu is a friend, right, wrong, or indifferent, whether you like it or whether you don't. But Iran is looking to kill our fucking president. And look it up. Go find it. Yeah, I had an article and I did not pull it up, but yeah, I mean he was enemy number one on Iran's list. I don't know if it was that exact interview though, Dan.
I know there was, and again, the limited amount of news that I did consume this weekend, and a little bit that I got this morning, it sounded like there was, a little bit of shock factor to that.
Which,
that Netanyahu dropped that nugget.
And I'll be that guy to question. Can you completely trust him? I don't know. I don't know whether you can or whether you can't.
Yeah.
And if he says, "Oh, well, they told us," and President Trump's he's their number one target. Okay, maybe. And he probably is, because he obviously pisses a lot of people off. Even in his own country, he pisses a lot of people off.
But
so,
I don't know.
I
look at the headlines that I see today, and the headlines today are that Iran wants to negotiate after crippling Israeli strikes. So I think that's a positive sign.
Yeah, I mean,
I've heard a lot of talk that Iran, though, is not interested at all in giving up its nuclear program, and I think that has to be a non-negotiable item. That's where everything starts.
Yes,
that shit's got to be cut out completely, and then we can make a deal that's going to be beneficial to everyone involved. So I've got a lot of faith in this administration that they're going to be come up with something that's good for Israel, that's good for Iran, that's good for all of the Middle East, and then in the long run, good for the United States.
Well, since he just said, wasn't it Trump that pulled out of the Iran nuclear agreement, leaving them totally unchecked? I don't think it just goes like that easy. That you can have that conversation, but it's not that you go unchecked. It's nuclear fucking weapons.
I think he's probably talking about the Obama deal, that the bottom line of the Obama deal that Obama had with Iran would have assured that Iran was going to get a nuclear weapon. So that agreement is one that Trump got rid of in his first administration. And then Biden went in and I couldn't tell off the top of my head what Biden did. I mean, President Outta pen. I don't think Biden doesn't know what he did. He doesn't know what he did either.
He forgot he was fucking president, for fuck's sake.
Yeah. So Trump is not going to play patty cake with the ring. He's look. Trump and Benjamin Netanyahu are good friends. Trump fully supports Israel. He does not want to see them wiped off the map, and he's going to do everything he can to make sure that doesn't happen.
Yeah. All right, we're gonna get to one of our buddies, Murphy Engraving, one of our sponsors. We're gonna play this little ditty for you.
Hi everyone, Dan Carroll here. Time to tell you about a great new sponsor for the One More and I'm Out of Here podcast. It's Murphy Engraving. Murphy Engraving is the place to go for your business. industrial, and personal engraving needs. Take a look at the Murphy Engraving page on Facebook, and you're going to see all kinds of unique items that really seem to take on a life of their own because they've been customized with an image, a name, or a logo, and all of it just really beautifully done. The acrylic sports awards that light up are especially creative and very cool. The customized bottles of bourbon, those are my personal favorite. And wait till you see what they can do with items that are made out of wood. The next time you want to recognize someone special or you're looking for that one-of-a-kind gift, you'll be glad you checked out Murphy Engraving. And a bonus, you're supporting a local family-owned business run by brothers Brian and Kevin, who is a lifetime firefighter and Air Force vet. At Murphy Engraving, they turn the ordinary into the extraordinary, and at Murphy Engraving, we are American-made.
Kevin Murphy. Kevin Murphy is one of the greatest. He is a mover and a shaker, and him and I have been talking a ton about.
I like that dude.
Working on potentially another podcast. We got some things.
How about that?
Some things in the works. So, yeah, he wants to get out there, but he wants to work for you. So, like anything you guys need, seriously, call him. He can make it happen. And if he can't physically do it, he's got connections in the pipeline to be able to. But yeah, Kevin's the best. We love Kevin. But I want to throw this at you. Dan. You don't know this is coming.
All right.
LA Mayor Karen Bass says city employees cannot clean all the destruction in downtown Los Angeles by themselves and that the public needs to chip in to beautify the city ahead of the World Cup. Your thoughts?
When is the World Cup?
I don't know.
I don't know either.
I don't know, but it's coming. Obviously, it's coming up.
To my way of thinking, here's an easy answer. There's all kinds of video footage of the numbnuts and the malcontents and probably some of the paid participants who were out there during the burning, doing the rioting, doing the looting, confronting police. A little diligent work would probably identify a vast majority of those individuals. I think they should be compelled to get their ass back out on the street, give them a garbage can, give them one of them little things. What do you call those things? It's got you squeeze it and it picks shit. I saw a guy with one today.
I call her picker-upper. It's an old man picker-upper. That's what it is.
Give them one of those and get busy. Those are the people. The people who cause the shit to go wrong are the ones who need to clean shit up. Is that so complicated?
I absolutely
Is that so
agree
complicated?
With you, and I knew where your fucking mind was.
You're sitting there minding your own business in LA, and then the mayor says, "Keith, you need to get out there and clean some shit up." What are you going to say to that?
Eat a bag of dicks. I didn't cause that mess. I ain't fucking doing it.
Yeah.
Guess what?
I feel bad for the city employees, but Madam Mayor.
All the fucking liberals that were fucking sitting there throwing shit at cops, and fucking military and whoever are in bed now sleeping because either the tear gas got to their eyes so bad they had to close them and fucking sleep, or they got so fucking stoned and high they wanted to just fucking take a nap.
I know there's at least 2 or 3 in the hospital, getting testicles removed. Guess what? Because he got popped in the nutsack
it's
with
the best. It's
with a rubber bullet.
It's the best fuck around and find out I've ever fucking seen.
Oh, I got shot in the balls.
I asked Cincy if
been deballed.
If he went down to the No Kings protest here in Cincinnati. I haven't gotten an answer back yet, but
you know what? Again, I didn't watch. Here's the thing. We had the No Kings protest here at I don't know, a half a dozen locations around Cincinnati.
We had one here really close that it was peaceful for the most part.
I paid zero attention to the No Kings protest that were here anywhere else.
I watched all.
So in my mind, it's almost as if they didn't happen. Although I did hear some reports about some violence in, I guess, Portland. Maybe, I don't know if there was any in Los Angeles. Maybe a few other locations out west. I guess someone actually got killed, I think, in Utah. Or was it Utah or Idaho?
I think Utah. I think
Yeah.
I know what you're talking about, but I'm not positive. Don't quote me on it.
We should call our buddy Lady Maga USA
Oh,
and
you
see
should try.
and see if
You should try.
he can give us an update on.
But as we're talking about these, like, so we had one that was actually really close to where we live, which cool. Go do your thing. I mean, if that's what you want to do. And there's somebody that I'm trying to get on the podcast who's kind of like a social media magnet now. All of a sudden here locally, he's around everywhere, and he was there. So I'm trying to get him on, but he was posting stuff on his Facebook page and Instagram, and he was interviewing. And when he would interview people, it was amazing.
Lady Maga's not answering his phone.
Oh, you got big time by Lady Maga.
I know. How about that? I'm used to it though.
How about that?
Although I did have him on the show. We talked about Pride Month. So
Versus veterans.
so I did get him on for one show. So that was pretty good.
But no. So this guy, Hilarious Scales, follow him on Instagram. I'll promote him, even though he hasn't been on yet. But we're working on it. We're working toward it. But he was actually, just having interviews and asking.
Do you have
people
one of his videos?
What
handy?
they're? I don't have one of his, but I have multiple others.
Can we see one?
Yeah, I'm working up to it.
Oh, your intro.
You were on a goddamn phone.
Well, I was
call.
trying to call Lady Maga.
You were on a phone.
Maybe an impromptu guest.
I know. I would have loved it.
I know. I would have had. You wouldn't have. I would have had to hold the phone up to the microphone.
I know that would have pissed me.
Would
off.
you have been okay with that?
We'd have made it work.
All right.
It's not ideal, but no, you have an iPhone. No, I could have plugged your shit right in. Now that you're on
really?
Android,
Oh, okay.
you used to be Android guy, but no. So this Hilarious Scale, guys, he will sit there and he'll interview people, and they had no idea what they were out there for, and it cracks me up because he doesn't care to just get out there and just put his face out, and he just doesn't give a shit. But most of these people had no idea what they were doing.
But the thing is, that sort of thing is not unique to this protest.
No, it's a.
How many videos did we see when all this anti-Semitism stuff was going on college campi?
Yes,
and then and you have these numbnut girls out there. Do you know what "river to the sea" means?
Right.
Well,
right.
Which river, which sea? I don't know. What are you doing out here? Oh, we thought we'd meet some guys.
And it's this is where all my friends were going, so I just decided to show up.
I kind of like that free Palestine. That sounds pretty neat.
So
a bunch of morons.
So I got a couple other ones. These aren't local to us, but it's the same fucking difference.
King's demonstration today in the very small town that I live in. I'm gonna go check it out. Just really curious as to what the protesters have to say about why they are there today.
It's important to protect our people and the minorities that are being just neglected and slaughtered everywhere.
No fascists. Tell me about that.
Here, I'm just holding the sign for somebody over there.
Tell me about that.
I actually didn't make it. Somebody else made it.
Okay.
And brought it to me, but I like it.
We are protesting the fact that our president wants to be a king.
Hi. What are you guys protesting today?
Who's asking?
Does anybody want to tell me why they're protesting today?
It's a no fascism
What are you
with
guys protesting
Trump and
today?
Hitler for the audio listeners.
Well, that was awesome.
I mean, what the fuck? So
the thing that's astounding to me, and this is a phenomenon that's being talked about right now, are the amount of senior citizens who are out there and coming to these events. And I really don't know why that's happening. Somehow they are being gotten to, and I don't know if these people are of weak mind, or they go to the old folks home and these guys got nothing better to do. Go out there, maybe we'll buy you some lunch and have a few rounds of bingo or something. But there's an astounding number of senior citizens who have been out at these protests, and I've seen videos like this. And by and large, when you talk to them, they cannot give you a reason why they're out there.
Exactly.
Someone, all they know is someone told them to go to the protest, and they're out there.
So these come from our friend Falk, who's in the chats. Falk around to find out. She sends me shit on Instagram.
Well, Falk, we appreciate it. Keep them coming.
I absolutely love it. I
Keep 'em
absolutely love it. So she sent me this one too, which I think is so perfect.
President Trump has no legal right to send in the National Guard. That's wrong. Armed Forces Code, Title 10, Section 12406, gives a list of circumstances in which the president is allowed to send in the National Guard with or without the governor's permission. Reason 1, the U.S. is invaded or is in danger of invasion by a foreign nation. Oh, so like people in the streets of California waving Mexican flags saying this land is Mexican and we're taking it back. That sounds like it fits that bill. Number 2, if there's a rebellion or danger of a rebellion against the authority of the government, yeah, they're just trying to enforce laws and you're rebelling against law-abiding government actions. Yep, that fits. Number 3, the president's unable with the regular forces to execute the laws of the United States. You're interfering with ICE operations, lawful ICE operations.
The most perfect.
So that works. So under those circumstances, the president may call into federal service members and units of the National Guard of any state in such numbers as he considers necessary to repel the invasion, suppress the rebellion, or execute those laws. So share this with one of your liberal friends.
I don't know who that gal is, but I think she did a pretty nice job there.
I think she killed it. So keeping with that theme, we're gonna dial up Big Mike.
Oh,
because we love Big Mike. We're getting toward the end of the show, but
what's Big Mike's grievance today?
Oh boy,
isn't that amazing? I mean, you talk about a woman who was as first lady, was universally loved, never a bad word spoken about her. Magazine covers as far as think about when you were at the going grocery shopping those days. Every magazine in the checkout aisle. Michelle this. Michelle shares her secret recipes. Michelle on how to raise kids. Michelle Obama on how to save money. Michelle Obama, how to flick your bean. It could be anything. She was an expert on every subject under the sun.
That was close. We almost ruined the microphone. We almost ruined the microphone on that one. Nicely played, though.
So it's amazing to me that she still goes around and talks about all these just how hard her life has been.
Yeah, I mean,
and how unfair America can be.
Yeah, how unfair has it been being a senator's wife?
Terrible.
And then a president's wife. And then dealing with everything. I mean, the only thing unfair that she's having to deal with right now is having the nickname Big Mike. And guess what? Have thick skin and get the fuck over it. Because guess what? You don't have to do shit for the rest of your fucking natural born life. But then,
that travel between Martha's Vineyard and Hawaii can really take a toll.
Oh,
I'm telling you,
it's rough. I mean, it's rough.
Flying first class. I mean, it's not as glamorous.
Well, I mean, think about all the radiation you're getting being in the air, all the sun's rays, the radiation you're getting in the air flying. Because I've talked to. I
mean, she pretty much splits time between Martha's Vineyard and Hawaii, does she not?
And I've talked to air marshals,
maybe a little time in Europe,
who get cancer because that's their job.
Fly all the
flying
time,
on a plane, so they get that radiation, and that's a thing. Like air marshals get a ton of cancer. It's unfortunate though that you don't have to do shit but wake up and go to sleep. It's a hard motherfucking job. Fuck you, Big Mike. So here's what we got. And this is fucking hilarious.
But she's good. I mean,
somebody's going to say it's AI, but I guarantee you it's not.
She's gotten a lot smarter since she started that podcast.
And I remember seeing this. I remember seeing what her husband said, and there's been multiple others. I got another one somewhere in my fucking tabs of when he was president. This is just when he was senator. He wasn't even president yet. But listen to what Big Mike has.
All right, here we go. Let's see.
Don't know that we will have the advocates to protect everybody. And that frightens me. It keeps me up at night. My fears are for what I know is happening out there in streets all over the city. And now that we have leadership that is sort of indiscriminately determining who belongs and who doesn't.
We simply cannot allow people to pour into the United States undetected, undocumented, unchecked, and circumventing the line of people who are waiting patiently, diligently, and lawfully to become immigrants in this country.
So there you go, Barack Hussein Obama. And there was a time when he and I were on the same page when it came to immigration policy and policy as it relates to illegal aliens in this country. And illegal aliens was a term that he used with great regularity. I remember one of his, not inauguration speeches, but one of his State of the Union speeches, where he just was, illegal alien this, illegal. He might have said it more times than Bill Clinton said in one of his State of the Union speeches. He might have said it more times than Hillary Clinton. And trust me, there's ample video out there of Hillary Clinton talking about illegal aliens. We got to get them out of the country. We've got to. Are we playing this now?
Yeah, not yet.
Oh, okay. But this used to be perfectly acceptable. But the only reason that there's so much opposition now to what Trump is doing is because he is Trump, and that's it. I'm looking at a piece right now that the National Association for the Advancement of Colored People, the NAACP, announced today that it is not inviting President Trump to its annual convention next month because of the president's approach to civil rights. The move marks the first time in the history of the group they've decided not to invite a sitting president. It comes after the NAACP filed multiple lawsuits against Trump and his administration in response to diversity, equity, and inclusion. During Trump's first term, he received invitations to speak at their convention but declined. The president, Derek Johnson, said the decision was not based on the president's political affiliation, but because he was working against the organization's mission. This has nothing to do with a political party, Johnson said. He said, our mission is to advance civil rights, and the current president has made it clear his mission is to eliminate civil rights. Here's the thing. The president of the NAACP made that statement, but at least this article that was put out by the Associated Press gave no examples of how you would think the president of the NAACP, if he is going to say Trump is working against civil rights, he would be able to provide maybe one or two examples of how that is happening. That's what I think anyway.
Well, I'm trying to find this one clip if I can, but
of Obama saying what?
But as president, because I'm going to get judged in the fact that he was just a senator then.
Doesn't matter.
But I was trying to find that, and I'd seen it, but we don't have enough time to fucking do it.
Well, he said that. Trust me, he said the same thing as president.
Exactly,
multiple times.
He said the exact same thing.
Yeah.
But the fact that Big Mike wants to fucking go on a podcast now here lately, I mean, that was very recent, and go against everything that her husband said, but what our right now sitting president is doing, like actually putting fucking pen to paper, boots on the ground to fucking fix the problem.
Well,
I just find it so amusing that these leftists that are like, oh my God, we're kicking people out of the country. Yeah, they don't belong here. They don't. Now go back and come back through the correct ports of entry. Yes, I'm all about you being here. But if you're illegal, no.
Well, one of the things Obama called himself was the deporter in chief. So he had no problem kicking illegals out of the country. Trump now, his administration has offered, if you are in the country illegally, you can self-deport. And that program, and if you self-deport, then you have the opportunity to come back later in a legal fashion.
Yes.
So if ICE finds you and you get kicked out. You don't have that option.
Do
But
the
if
right.
you put your hand up and say, okay,
It's called doing the right thing.
and the headline in the New York Post is nearly 11 or nearly 1 million illegals have self-deported so far under Trump.
Okay.
Nearly 1 million already have taken advantage of this.
There you go.
That sounds like a pretty good deal to me. You got a million have looked at this and said, you know what? It's better to go now, go under my own auspices, and get the hell out of here. Then maybe one day I can come back in a legal way. Now, what is inhumane about that? What is anti-civil rights
about that? Let me throw this comment up just to get you fired up. Cincy, they're going after people who are here legally, people seeking asylum, people here on visas, questioning birthright censorship. But the right is trying to paint illegals as murderous criminals. No, that's not what's fucking happening. And the fact that you just throw your fucking, that's the way your blinders go, and you say I have blinders on, I don't agree with you. I wholeheartedly just do not agree with you. They are grabbing people that are illegal. And guess what? There is a process that they go through, right? And guess what? Why would we just grab just legal people?
Well, the thing is,
why would we just grab them?
That's not happening. There have been maybe 1 or 2 cases out of every one they've rounded up so far where someone claims that they got caught up in a raid and they shouldn't have been, detained, or they shouldn't have been removed, or whatever the case may be. Literally 1 or 2 or 3. I mean, you can probably count them on one hand. Which to me is that is a infinitesimally small percentage of those. And look, Obama has deported far more people than Trump has already. I mean, far more. And under the Biden administration, a whole bunch more went out as well. But this notion that they're coming after people just minding their own business, walking down the street because they look like they might be from Mexico or from South America or Korea or whatever,
just snatching you up.
Yeah, that is not happening. That is not, and the vast majority of these people have already been convicted of a crime and already have a deportation order on them. All ICE is doing so far is just following up on the paperwork trail that these people already have. So that's how they're finding most of them.
So if there is no issue, if you're legal and you don't have paperwork, then it shouldn't be an issue, correct?
Yeah, if you're in the country legally, there's no problem.
To your way of thinking?
Well, not to my way of thinking, to the reality of the situation.
So what, as Joe Billy says, you don't bring none, there ain't going to be none. So don't be a fucking douche.
And don't give me the due process shit either. If they've got a deportation order that's already been issued, guess what? They've already had due process.
Oh, I like this one. They're rounding up people at Home Depots. Then the news says they're all murderous criminals. Well, I just showed Jill a funny ass video of a guy rounding people up at Home Depots and driving them to the ICE office from years ago. But it just still makes me fucking giggle. He has them all in the back of the truck. I mean, you could play that card all day long, and you could say we're going to play our card all day long, and it is what it is.
Well, 513 is just parroting what the mayor of LA said, because the ICE people, they did round up some people at the Home Depot, but she made a big deal out of that, like they were just at the Home Depot, because everyone knows that a criminal or an illegal alien would never go to a Home Depot. I mean, that's just common knowledge. They would never go to a Home Depot. How could you be so stupid as to think that someone who's here illegally would dare step foot in the vicinity of a Home Depot?
Well,
please.
And they might. I mean, I'm going to disagree with you in that point, in the fact that they're going to go do work. They want to do work. But if you're here illegally, you could be the most innocent son of a bitch on the face of the planet. and you're wanting to do work. But guess what? If you're here illegally, and you just so happen to get rounded up at fucking Home Depot, well, guess what? Wrong place, wrong time, my man. You should probably thought your shit out.
Well,
if you're here illegally, you need to go back and then come back legally. That's all we're saying.
The fact of the matter is the majority of those who are in the country illegally are here to suck off the system.
Yes.
They're here to get their free Obama phones.
Fact.
They're here for the free health care, the free education, the assistance with the rent and all the other stuff. All the government handouts that the Biden administration made clear that they were going to get. The Trump administration is working to cut all that stuff out, get rid of it, and make being illegal here suck. It used to be fun times to be here as an illegal alien. Those days are over. And I don't know why that is so controversial. I don't know why people can't get their head around it. Don't believe all this stuff that you hear on The View. You think that 513 watches The View a lot? Because it sounds like
he's going to say he's doing carpentry, but it's probably on in the shop.
What's that?
It's probably on in the shop. His carpentry shop. I mean, he works. He works hard. He works hard and he does good work.
I'm not suggesting that he doesn't,
but it's probably on.
All right.
What's your Wednesday or Friday look like?
Probably Friday is probably better.
All right. Friday, 4:00.
Sounds like another podcast.
Yep. We never do this.
Make sure you check in.
We never do this before.
Make sure you check in to see if Pappas will show up.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see if he's around.
All right.
Here, let's check.
And we'll play the latest video
of him
and one of his girlfriends.
Check the rest of the chats. Obviously, Joe Billy was in here. Will Cray, our buddy Falk, who gave us some fucking video gold, which we love you for, and please do that. Bosco from Forever Road Podcast. Please go check his podcast out. Forever Road. It's awesome. Love. I've sat in a couple different times. Always a pleasure to see him in here. Tyler S. Let's see. A-Town Natty. Just trying to go through and throw some names out that people that
hit the like button.
Yeah, hit the like, follow. Tell somebody about it.
How about that putt by JJ Spawn on 18 yesterday?
Holy shit, 67 feet.
Looked like me at St. Wilson's.
Oh, yeah.
Making
draining those long putts. Let's not go that far. Come
on, man. I made 3 in a row.
Come on, fella.
No, that was very cool to watch how that played out yesterday.
That was cool.
U.S. Open champ. Good
now,
for him.
We're hoping we're gonna have Pappas back on Friday, but we're gonna plan on Friday around 4.
Speak for yourself.
Well, I'm speaking for myself.
Yeah, thank you.
But hey, guys, we appreciate everything, and Cincy.
Yeah, if you can find any examples of how Trump is trampling on civil rights, let me know, and maybe we'll talk about that on Friday.
I mean,
it's what the NAACP says.
Yeah, bring some facts versus just a text message, but you can email at one more and I'm out of here, all spelled out at gmail.com. But
$4.3 million for winning the U.S. Open.
That's a lot.
That's nice. Think his caddy was loving it.
So yeah, well, his caddy gets 10%,
and probably a bonus too.
Probably a bonus.
Well,
I'm sure Spawn will give his caddy a bonus just because there was no fucking way that anybody thought he was going to win it. But hey, we'll see you guys here Friday, 4 p.m. Eastern. Love you guys. See ya.